Well, we continue to follow breaking news out of Brownsburg. News 8's Dan Klein is at the scene of a structure collapse that critically injured a person.
Yeah, so Dan, what are you seeing out there and what have you learned?
Well, just a few moments ago, guys, we found out that the one person who was critically injured is a juvenile, either a child or a teenager. Firefighters not saying exactly how old this individual was, but I'll step out of the way and take a look at what this structure looks like now. 3 more people were also rushed to the hospital, to other hospitals in the area, but this was a small strip mall, a gas station that was under construction. Workers up in the air, working actually on the rafters as the storm moved in, just rushed in. Firefighters talked about, there was a lot of thunder and lightning in the distance and gave a little bit of warning, but people were still up in the air when this happened. As they responded, it was difficult. This area right now is a muddy mess, and so by the time they got to the scene, that person, that juvenile, had been pulled out by other workers and certainly rushed away to the hospital. Again, this happened just before 4 o'clock. It's still sprinkling a little bit here, but 3 other people also taken to the hospital this afternoon. Not sure of their condition, but they're not believed to be critical. Reporting live in Brownsburg, Dan Klein, Wish TV, wishtv.com. Be sure to follow us on Facebook.
All right, Dan, thanks for that on-the-ground perspective there.
Mark is taking a closer look for us this evening on what exactly happened in Brownsburg, Marcus.
Yeah, so we have the tools that we can kind of step it back a little bit and show you exactly what happened. I will say that there was no severe thunderstorm warning with this particular cell that moved into Brownsburg. So time estimated here at 3:43. You heard Dan saying it was just before 4 o'clock when they got that report in. Our radar at that time was estimating wind speeds between 60 and 70 miles per hour. Now, again, that's going to be a little bit higher up in the air, but that does go to show that there was an isolated area of very quick downbursts of wind that were approaching the Brownsburg area about that time. We also have what we call shear tracker. This is going to estimate strong winds over time. Green is kind of weaker, but the brighter green and reds you see are going to be kind of the stronger indications of that wind. And indeed, we do see that rolling through the Brownsburg area briefly close to 4 o'clock. If you put it all together, this is the shear path. You can see kind of those hot spots, and right there in Brownsburg, that's potentially where we had that severe thunderstorm gust that did cause that damage there in Brownsburg earlier this afternoon. Had a couple of storm reports because of that, and Ashley has touched on that. This was the storm report that Dan was just reporting on there. We also had a few storm reports here on the west side of Indianapolis, out by the airport, of some trees knocked down because of those strong winds, and then, of course, a lot of power outages as well. We're going to keep an eye on this, and, of course, Ashley's going to keep tracking some of those storms in her forecast. That's coming up in just a few minutes.